Hey, okay. I have some thoughts on this time management stuff and things like that. So, most of this is actually adapted from several other sources, including Matthew Wegner did a speech on what he did at his old studio, Flashbang Studios, at GDC a few years ago. And I kind of picked up from there and then went on and don't mind the webcam generating disco lighting. All right, so make sure you have a reason for doing your time or project management stuff. So I have two problems that I need to solve. One is I have a problem with motivation, so actually getting the work done and starting and choosing what to do and getting overwhelmed with all the choices and stuff. The second thing is remembering what has to be done. So, kind of just a to do list, something like that. So, there's basically, if I just, like every time I run across a bug I have to fix and I don't have time to right now, or there's a neat little feature idea I thought of, I'll write it down and I'll make sure it is its own little item, like a single line item, something like that. If I could put them, if I could easily put them all on index cards, I would probably do that, but I use software solutions instead. So what I'll end up doing is I'll make a list of all the things that need to get done, and hopefully they're ordered in order of dependencies. So, I mean, I'm not going to record sound effects before I have a sound engine made, for example. So, what I'll do is, oh, that's for later. There, you can't see that. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll just make like each of these boxes represents a feature that I want to do, and one of them might be like audio, and one might be a new feature idea, and one might be whatever else. It could be I have to write some lines of dialogue in the game, and I will do a standard task management thing. And some people use agile development or Scrum or things like this. I think those are very structured, and the rules of their systems actually make it more difficult for indies to follow them. And you end up having a problem with one little part of it, and then you're discouraged from using the rest of it. So don't follow any of those rules, just make up your own system that works for you. And this is what works for me. So I'll make a list of like 100 items maybe that, well, I'll start off with like 20 items, and then as I go I keep adding to the list, like what GB was doing. Every time he fixes something he ends up adding like 5 more things to the list. That's fine, that's cool, it's perfectly okay. And I'll say, I usually use a scale of 1 to 3 for difficulty. You don't want to be sitting there, like if you have the difficulty on a scale of 1 to 100, I mean, you might be sitting there spending more time deciding on whether a task is worth a 73 or 76. Like, you spend more time doing that than actually fixing the problem. So I just use a scale of 1 to 3. I'll say like making a new audio engine is like a lot of work, so I'll call that a 3. I know the lines of dialogue only take me a few minutes, so that's going to be a 1. And the new idea, I have no idea, so whatever, it's going to cost me 2. And as you go, so on day number 1, so we're on day 1 right now, I'll sit down at my desk, look at the top of the list, maybe reorganize a few things depending on dependencies or whatever, and I'll say, okay, this one, done. This one, done. And then I'm done for the day, and that's it. Like, that's all I got done today, and yeah, so then I add up these points, and I did 5 points worth of work today. You can hardly see that though. That's a 5. I did 5 points worth of work today. Then what I'll end up doing is I'll look at like if there's a bunch more features on here costing 1, 2, 2, 3, 1 points. Then tomorrow when I sit down to work and I see this huge list of things to do, I get overwhelmed with how much is on the list and what I should be doing. So what I end up doing is I'll take a look at what I did yesterday, which is 5. I did 5 points worth of work. And I'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I should be able to do these 3 features today. Because I did 5 points worth of work yesterday, I should be able to do 5 points worth of work today. If I beat 5, great. If I do less than 5, that's not so good, but okay. I can strive to beat it the next day. So it's a good way of keeping everything in sync and in order, and I agree with Kasperzak, sorry, POV. There's a lot of danger in getting too detailed with this stuff. I mean, you don't want to write down every line of code in a separate little box, because you'll end up spending more time doing that than doing than actually making the changes in the application. So yeah, keep it really simple, keep it confined to ideas. I usually do 2 or 3 boxes, like 2 or 3 items a day, to give you an idea of the scope of it. And some of the ideas might be like track down and fix this bug that I have no idea where it is, right? That might take me all day. I hope it doesn't, but you know, I might call that a 2. Something like I don't know. I've never coded a single thing that has taken me longer than a day to get like the fundamental down, right? Like, so that's my measure. Like, one day should be like, nothing should take longer than a day. So like 3 equals at most a day's work. So anyway, that's just my guidelines and what I use. I find this system works great. There is software, unfortunately it's pay now, but it's called Pivotal Tracker, pivotaltracker.com, and basically is a digital version of this, and your running total, it takes an average of a time span you define and helps you track this. And they call this your velocity. So that is how fast you're moving. So instead of GBB getting frustrated and upset that like your progress graph wasn't doing so well, I can see that. Like, I understand why that would be upsetting and it doesn't feel like you're getting anywhere. But the important thing is how much work you're getting done. If you graphed what your velocity was every day, then you can strive to maintain or exceed what you were previously doing in terms of output. If you're measuring your output, you're able to improve your output. If you're only measuring how much work you have left, that can get really depressing really fast. Anyway, it's getting long, so I'm going to do another video on time management. This is more project management. So I'll be right back. Oh, another good thing about this, if you do work with other people, it's really easy to just slap a name on some of these tasks and measure your team's velocity. And again, Pivotal Tracker is really good at that, but I just do this on pen and paper now when I'm working by myself. So I love Pivotal Tracker though.